Time to honor the first class of Stillman Valley athletes inducted into the school's Hall of Fame stirs criticism about the selection process because the list of honorees features no women. WIFR's Anthony Ferretti talks with the Meridian School District Superintendent, who says there were several female nominations, but only one was complete. The committee wanted to honor her, but she declined.
I feel very badly that on the night where we're supposed to be honoring 75 years of history, we are focused on this.
9 people inducted into Stillman Valley High School's first Athletic Hall of Fame Friday evening received cheers, but not everyone is happy with the class. Not one woman made the cut.
As open of a process we can use, it just didn't happen to nominate or recognize any females, which is not awesome.
The little girls in Stillman and everywhere need to be able to see themselves reflected in this inaugural class.
Meridian School District Superintendent PJ Capozzi says a group of 3 men and 3 women made this decision. They received several female nominations, but only one was complete.
When we contacted that female athlete, she declined.
This is about the outcome, and the outcome completely lacks representation of any female athletes.
Parent and alum Brittany Key says the class should be more diverse and criticizes the selection process.
It's the inaugural year, which makes it extra important to set the tone, a representative celebration of the participation of sports in Stillman.
Capozzi agrees the committee must improve how it gets the word out about the Hall of Fame and communicate what is needed to nominate someone. He says next year will be better.
We're in a pretty unfortunate position.
In Stillman Valley, Anthony Ferretti, WIFR News.
A complete application includes the athlete's name, sport, and accolades, which some nominations didn't have. He says without accolades, the committee couldn't make an informed decision.